Welcome to the Personal Development Mastery Podcast. Stand out, don't fit in. Welcome to the Personal Development Mastery Podcast. Today I have the real pleasure to be speaking with a strategist and a business coach who's helping ambitious entrepreneurs amplify their success. She is a successful entrepreneur herself, having built 3 businesses in 4 years, one of which featured in Vogue magazine UK. She is also a fellow knowledge broker and a fellow passionate podcaster, with her podcast reaching number 1 in the Middle East charts and top 20 in the United States. Reem Kharbat, welcome to the show. I'm delighted to be speaking with you.
Thank you so much, Aga. I'm super happy to be here with you.
That's fantastic. Reem, I wanted to ask by asking you to give us a brief introduction. Mainly, I would like you to tell us 1 or 2 key defining moments or milestones in your life that led you to where you are at the moment.
Awesome. It's a nice question, by the way. So I come from Jordan, which is a small country in the Middle East. And, coming from a small family, conservative family, my mom and dad, they were both educators, school teachers, principals. And, my whole life, I was raised to be the A student, to get the higher grades and to, become a good employee, find a great job, high salary. And this is how we were raised. It's like exactly the American dream. This way, how we would become, rich and financially free. So as a young girl, I knew that this is the only way that I can do and excel in life. But I knew that I also did not have so many opportunities to do something else. We were not allowed to travel. We were not allowed to dream or think big because, as I said, my dad's maximum, let's say, ambition towards me is to become a clerk in a bank or a cashier in a bank. So, and that deep inside, it did not, I did not resonate with that. I felt that I needed something much bigger. So, answering your question, one of the defining moments of my life, I remember I went to my dad and I told him, listen, I am an A student and I am a very good, obedient, let's say, young girl. And I need to travel to the States to pursue my dream and become a certified public accountant. And he was like, what? What are you talking about? What is a CPA? And how dare you thinking about traveling by yourself and to the States? Like, I've never traveled by myself anywhere. So imagine just going to a whole different continent, which is like tens of thousands of miles away. So, of course, he said no. And it was the easiest no for him. But I couldn't take no as an answer for that. And I kept studying. And, at that time, we did not have internet. We did not have any kind of resources. I had to really dig personally and spend time going to libraries and talking to people and just sending emails to understand. Email was new at that time. I'm talking about in the 2000. So when he saw me, how much I was really dedicated to what I really wanted. And, I'm talking about a noble thing. I'm not saying I want to, I want to study. I want to do something. And he felt that she's serious about that. And I remember he took a loan from the bank to help me travel to the US and pursue my dreams. And that moment, the moment I landed in the airport by myself, it was life-changing for me. Since that moment, my whole life, my whole mindset towards life was totally different. I knew that I am unstoppable. I can do a lot of things. And it led me to everything else in my life. But the second defining moment is when, um, after finishing my CPA, I came back to Jordan, and I worked as a financial analyst for a big telecom group. And then I climbed the ladder quickly. I became a director and then a CFO.
Mm-hmm.
And then I became a member of the board of directors for the company. And that was all at a young age. But when I got married, and in the Arab world and in the Middle Eastern, let's say, culture, first of all, it's very difficult to find women in leading positions. So imagine a leader, a female leader, pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they needed anything or any reason to pull you down or to stop you from doing what you really want to do. And on the same day, exactly, I remember the same day when I gave birth, instead of receiving a congratulations message, I received a text from my boss, and he asked me to quit my job because simply I was really, really expensive for him, because I need to take a maternity leave and, unpaid leave, or no, maternity leave.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that the biggest defining moment of my life, because since that moment, I knew that I will never go back to being an employee or to work for someone else. And I knew that it's going to be difficult. My life is not going to be the same, but it's going to be worth it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm smart enough to figure it out and to do it properly. And since then, in 4 years, me and my husband, we quit our job together, and we started our first business. And then after a year, we started the second one, and now I have the third one. And I don't think it's going to be to stop anytime soon, because it's contagious when you feel the freedom and the power, and when you feel that you as a human being, you're capable of doing amazing things. You just need to believe in it and to be committed to achieve it. I know that maybe this is the longest answer.
Not at all. I find it very interesting, and actually I wanted to ask you, because I read your story that there was a period that both you and your husband were out of job, out of income.
Yes.
And you were using your savings, which they were quickly running out, and then eventually you found success, and you sold your pilot, the prototype, just before your money ran out. So I want to ask you about how your mindset transitioned during that time, because I can only suppose that you had the thoughts of scarcity or of fear about the money at that time.
Yes.
So how did you handle that? And what change happened in your money mindset? That's what I wanted to ask you after that period, after that moment when you, let's say, found success. If it's not the proper term, but you know what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say.
No, absolutely. And it's a very, very good question, honestly, because not everybody know that there is a money mindset or money blueprint. And which is, by the way, it's one of the biggest problems between couples, which is having different money blueprint. But yes, we were in a very, let's say, scary position, having less than $5,000 in the bank, knowing that we have to pay for our residency, survival, let's say, our monthly expenses. We knew that this is not gonna help us for more than a month or two. And the thing is, me and my husband, we had an agreement from the beginning. It's actually, this started when we got married. We had the agreement that no matter what, we have to make it together. So as they say, when you get married, you say for the better or worse. we really implemented that. We did not just say it. We said that no matter what, we'll argue together, we'll fight each other, we're going to have our disagreements and differences, but no matter what, we have to make it. And before we started that project, before we took the decision not to go back to employment, although it would be easy for me to go find a job, it would be easier for him to go find a job. But we sat together. I remember we were sitting in the kitchen. It was almost, it was midnight. We were sitting together in our pajamas and we were like, listen, this is scary, but we are going to do it. We're going to make it no matter what. Everybody around us, they think we're insane. And we need to cut the noise for sure, for real. We have to, because none of them who are judging us, none of them have made it before. None of them had taken that decision to quit and start a business. None of them knows what it means to start a business or to be successful or to do something for your own. So we sat together and we agreed. And despite it was really scary time, but when you have the support, first of all, it starts in here. It starts in your own mind, to equip yourself by just reminding yourself on a daily basis, why am I doing this? Where I want to go? Why am I here? If you remind yourself that it's okay, because as they say, success leaves clues. That's so true. Looking at all the stories, all the success stories for different people all around the world, what happened is that it was not an easy ride for them, but they were committed. They were consistent. They believed in their idea or in what they're doing, and they did not quit. The only failure is the person who quits, who does not wait until he succeeds. This is it. So we knew that. We were sitting and we knew that this is what's going to happen. And I told my husband, listen, this is what we're going through now, is what's going to shape our story. When we're going to tell our story to the media, when we're going to tell our story in our published book, I swear I said this, in our best-selling book, this is the story that's going to inspire people. If our ride was so easy, if everything was so easy, what hell of a book would it be? It would be so boring.
Yeah.
Right? So we knew that it's okay. And I swear, the very next day, we received the call from that client who told me, and I remember I was shaking because I was handling the financial negotiation, and I was expecting him to ask me a lot of technical questions and a lot of financial questions. He said, okay, about the price. He asked me, when can you do that? That was only it. And we went and we signed the agreement, and we're still working with them together until this day. So it was amazing. It's really an amazing shift in our lives, because it made us really, truly believe that it can happen to anyone. You just need to be patient, you need to be persistent, and you need to believe. If you just stop now, you might be just 3 feet away from the gold. So this is where you fail and you will lose.
I actually had goosebumps when you said that, because it is, and many people quit just before they have the breakthrough, and they quit because it gets extremely difficult. They reach a point that they face the biggest challenge, or the big beast or the demon, and they can't handle it and they turn back, whereas it's just a little bit further. It's just that belief that you said.
Yes.
That is fantastic. And I suppose when you talk about the mindsets that a successful entrepreneur must have, I suppose these are what you mean, or is there something else too?
100%. Listen, you don't have to read a lot of books or sit with psychiatrists to adapt the mindset. All you need to do, seriously, just every day, if you write down what you really want in this life, if you write down what's your target, or if you have just one small target, and if you write it down and you keep looking at it every single day, your brain will rewire itself by looking at it. This is why they tell you need to create a vision board. This is why they tell you need to write down, to see it, to believe it. And I am a very big believer in one thing, which is speaking out loud. And I always say it's like the ask method. You need to ask the universe, ask people, ask whoever you feel that will help you reach where you want to be. And what does that mean? If you have an idea of a project, you want to do something, okay? Yeah. And if you keep it in your head, if you don't write it down, okay, this idea is going to die the very next day, along with hundreds and thousands of ideas, which one of them could be your $1 billion idea. The problem is a lot of people who are creative, they do not put down their idea. They don't write down their idea. So my advice is just the number one thing to do when you have an idea, just write it down, whatever, just write it down. If you believe in it, write it down and start doing a mock-up. This is what I've personally done. Just create a mock-up for it. Look at it, visualize it. And when you see someone and when you talk about it loud, when you hear it yourself, your brain will rewire. You will start acting unconsciously. You'll start acting towards it. This is what happened to me when I asked my dad I want to go to study in the US. I told him I want to go to the US. He said no. The next day I went to college. I remember when they told me, what are you going to do when you graduate? I said, I want to go to the States to study CPA, although my dad, he said no. I went to another interview in a bank because this is what I was supposed to do. And they asked me, what is your, one of those HR questions. What do you want to do? I said, I want to become a CPA. I had a no from my dad, but I kept telling everyone that this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. And it happened, not just this time. In many cases, I've seen it, I felt it, I've done it. And until now, I still believe in it. Speak out loud for what you really want to do. Write down your idea, and you will find yourself automatically working towards it and implementing it, and you will see the success. This is mindset. This is how you help yourself wire your brain towards success.
Absolutely, 100% agree. And what you have been saying so passionately, I might add, it's all the fundamentals really in personal development, visualizing, affirming things, activating your reticular activator system to bring the experience you want. It's great, but I like your approach, the way that you said it. It's amazing. Reem, let me ask you something slightly different. I want you to tell me, because you are a member of the Knowledge Broker Blueprint, as I am, how has it helped you as a person and as a businesswoman, and in what way you have been?
It helped me big time. It helped me, first of all, as I said, I'm a believer that I can do a lot of things in this life. Sometimes you need some reminders in certain ways, you know? And I remember at that specific moment when I joined the KBB, the Knowledge Broker Blueprint, being surrounded with great community and people who are all passionate, who are all succeeding, who are all, having this mindset. You feel that, as they say, you're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right?
Yeah.
So during the past, let's say 30 years, I was surrounded by myself and my husband together. We had that mindset, but everybody else around us, they were totally different. So we felt that we are like what do you call it? We were considered really different from the community that we're in. So I remember some guy I told him, I feel like I'm isolated. And he told me, you should not say you're isolated. You are liberated, which is 100% true. I was liberated by just putting myself away, and just me and my husband talking together and encouraging each other, reading books and watching YouTube videos. Like that was the only that was my only way of feeling that I am normal. Okay. But when I joined the KBB and I found that there are 20,000 people who think the same, who are even better, who are unstoppable. Every person has an amazing story, and every person comes from a different, background, countries, and there's like no limitation. The thing that I got from KBB, not just being surrounded by the amazing people, it made me believe that I can be global and international, not just limited to where I am. And that's why I tell everybody, remember, I'm a simple girl from Jordan in the Middle East, from the other side of the world. I did not have a silver spoon or anything. I really worked hard, but I am a podcaster who hit the top charts of the US, being from here. So do not tell me about limitations. Do not tell me about restrictions. Do not tell me about resources, because when I started, I did not have resources. I did not have the support from the family or the friends. I did not have anything, but I had the belief. So with the KBB, as I said, it reminded me that, come on, I'm living in the era where I can be international where I am. So that made a huge difference in the way I look at my business, at myself as a person, and it really changed a lot of things, because the first company, our company, which is the property management software company that we sold that prototype for over $300,000, we started it that we wanted to expand, in the region, in the Middle East, and now we're working towards making it a software as a service, which serves globally, anybody all over the world. So as I said, simple things sometimes give you the reminder that you can be from where you are, you can be global, you can serve people from all around the globe. And all you have to do is just put yourself out there and serve.
Outstanding. Thank you. And because KBB also teaches how to operate and run mastermind groups, I want your comment on how important a mastermind group is in someone's success.
Absolutely. Oh, okay. So this is also another thing that I was introduced to when I joined the KBB. Before that, I used to read books. And of course, one of the biggest, the most impactful books that I read was Think, Grow Rich for Napoleon Hill. And I knew, I read the concept of masterminds, but I really didn't know how it's done. What do they mean? I haven't seen it before I'm telling you, where I live, we've never heard about a mastermind before. Never. And I'm telling you, if you go and tell the highest educated person in here about a mastermind, they will not appreciate what you're talking about. But with the KBB, they made me realize that the cumulative power of collective brains is much, much stronger than your own just by yourself. So I was like, imagine my brain, which I believe it's like so big and it has so many things, multiplying it by 5, for example, look what kind of force we can get. So me and my husband, imagine what we have done. Look if we can multiply that. And also when I first learned that from the KBB, it became addictive for me. It became one of the most important elements to be included. For example, I always, again, as a CFO and as a finance person, I always write down numbers. I always check my numbers. I always like to prepare budgets and plans to know where I'm going and where I'm heading. So my plans now, since I joined the KBB, always it includes a big part of our income that is allocated towards masterminds for my personal development, for my personal growth, because I know the impact it does and it creates to the impact that it creates on your brain, on your personality, on your own growth, the importance it have. And that's why you have to be always, you have to consider it as an essential part when you do your business or your, let's say, financial allocation. Because I'm telling you, as they always say, people think that I will spend money to go on a exotic vacation. I will spend money to, for example, on children's education. I will spend money, the resources, or let's say the allocated resources for their financial or for their income, it's clear. But you cannot see any average person who would allocate certain time and money for his own personal growth and development, which is by including masterminds, taking courses, learning a new skill or a new technique or something like, because every day you will realize that as you grow, there are a lot of things that you don't know. So this is something that every person has to start including when budgeting or planning his annual expense for the year. So it's a very, very important thing. And I believe that it's a must for the person to grow, not just business wise, personal wise as well.
Completely agree. And having had experiences myself, being at a mastermind and having an idea from somewhere else where I was just banging my head against the wall and I couldn't figure it out, and then someone says an idea, oh my god, I never thought that, and it's invaluable. Reem, I just wanted to ask you quickly about your podcast, the Entrepreneur Accelerator. Just one question. What do you enjoy the most by doing your podcast?
Okay, I'll tell you what. So I always wanted to be able to spread my message fast. And I always wanted to be an authority because, again, I will repeat that. I come from a very small country. People, they don't know me. And how can I talk to everyone? How can people listen to me? Who are you? Right? People will think like, who are you? Maybe people here in my country, they know me. Yeah, but nowhere else, like no one knows who Reem is. And it's not that I was trying to find a shortcut, but I really wanted to find the way or the platform where I can be talking to people who would listen to me. Okay. So, and I knew as we were speaking before the show, I didn't want to be on camera every time, like every day, as a girl having makeup and just, I don't want that. I'm not good in, sometimes I get so stressed in front of the camera. And this is one of the limiting beliefs, but I felt more comfortable when I'm just talking like this and expressing myself. But the most important thing, it was an important tool for me to reach people who I never thought I would be able to speak with or talk to or pick their brains. Honestly, this is the most amazing part of a podcast. And again, when you combine the power of a podcast, this platform, when you combine the power of a podcast with the power of the ask method, you will be surprised from the results, the huge results that you might gain in a very short period of time. So combine these together and you will have like a massive, unstoppable power.
Fantastic. Thank you. Let me ask you some quick fire questions as well, Reem, all right?
Oh my God, okay.
What does personal development mean to you?
Personal development for me, it's life. It's essential now. Like it's addictive. I'm talking about myself. Personal development is essential. It's now as important as breathing, as eating. It's my sixth, seventh sense. Without it, I do not exist. It's continuous. It's something that you have. It doesn't stop. It's really addictive for me. And so, yeah, I don't know if that's an answer or not.
Of course it is. That's great. If you could go back in time and meet your 20-year-old self, what's the one piece of advice you would give her?
I would just say, you girl, you rock. Keep on doing what you're doing, honestly. So no advice. It's just keep on doing that, because with what I had at that time, with the resources, like I wouldn't change anything, because everything at every stage of life had a meaning, and it gave me a lesson. So for example, again, if I would give myself an advice when I was 20 to start, the personal development and mastermind, and of course they are really important, because this is what I'm doing with my daughter now. But if I'm talking about my case, if that would happen with me, maybe I would have been like really, really successful at that age, and I would not appreciate things that happened with me later on. So I've been through a lot of things. I studied abroad. I went to the US. I came back. I got married at a young age. I got divorced. All of them are taboos in our countries.
You broke many rules.
A lot. I'm telling you, a lot. And seriously, like if it was another girl, it would have, definitely she would have had some suicidal thoughts, or some, black deep thought about what is happening. But again, the good thing, which is, I don't know if it was a gift or what, I took every step and every turn off as a challenge and as a door for a new opportunity. So yeah.
Fantastic. Reem, if you had a magic wand and you could wave it and change something in the world as it is today, what would you change?
Definitely peace, and just accepting each other as is, and peace. Because again, I've been labeled in so many ways as a young woman. Where I come from, I'm a girl, so I'm a female, not a male. I'm a girl, Muslim, so I'm a terrorist. I'm divorced, which is again a big taboo in here. I'm Arab, which is again that means I ride a camel and I live in a tent. So basically, I had labels, and none of them, I did not choose any of them. I did not choose to be born with this religion, or with this culture, or with this skin tone, I did not have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
So looking at people all around the world killing each other, judging each other, hating each other because of this is just unbelievable. And yes, if there is a magic wand, that I would just hold them and choke them and tell them, like, please wake up. Seriously, this is it's sad. It's sad, and I hope that this would change one day. Maybe with what's happening now these days, people will appreciate, because I felt that we're recording this episode during some tough times, facing the corona outbreak, and I really believe that with what is happening, it could be like a reset button to change all the bad thoughts and habits that we had. And it also shows that we as a human being, despite all the differences of ethnicity, of religion, of backgrounds, or whatever, we are united as humans. And this outbreak, the pandemic, is showing us, it's giving us all a lesson that we are united in our humanitarian views. So, yeah, I hope that things will just work for the better for everyone soon.
So do I. Actually, I have the faith that it is. It's a matter of that's how I believe. Reem, is there anything you were hoping I would ask you today and I completely missed it?
At all. Actually, your questions are beautiful. This is one of the most exciting conversations. Seriously, I don't like some of the, let's say, organized questions. I love conversations. And this is also what I do in my podcast. It's just to have a sincere, honest, deep conversation to get the best out of the other person and really learn from what is deep inside, So I hope I was really not boring. I hope I was useful for your
fascinating conversation. Actually, let me ask you quickly one more question, since you mentioned the podcast. Is somewhere I read you mentioned a secret recipe that you had, that you used it to manage to invite Elena Cardone in your podcast, even though you didn't have a big audience. So what is the secret recipe?
Ask. It is the ask method. I call it the ask method. Maybe there is something called the ask method, by the way, but I promise I have nothing to do with it. I call it the ask method, which is just simply go and ask. People, they assume that they will get no as an answer. It's just in your head. Okay, yes, maybe she will say no, maybe she will say yes. And she said yes. Oh, wow. And it worked again. I said that because it happened with me at so many things. And now I'm not scared at all to approach any person in this life, because we are all human beings. So what? She's a billionaire. So what? But again, the recipe on let's say the secret sauce is, because we're all humans and every person has something that is unique about his personality. You love, for example, jazz. I love pop music. You love this actor. I love that. You have this hobby. I have that. Every person has something as a human, and you need to know how to touch the feeling of that person. You need to know what is he interested in. How can you intrigue him to be on your show? Like, imagine you're talking about an influencer who receives thousands of messages on a daily basis. So think about this. Why would she pick you and not them? Or how can you stand out? She doesn't know you. You don't have 1 million followers. So basically, you're not useful for her. I'm talking about any influencer. So you need to find the way how you talk or approach that person. And I think when you are so genuine and when you do not follow the systematic structure way of talking to people like robots, if you avoid that way, then trust me, it's gonna work. So I suggest, although I sent Elena just a text, I sent her a message on Instagram. It wasn't anything fancy. But think about using a video note to send it to someone. Let him see who you are, your face expression, how you really want to have him, why you really want to have him. Let him feel the connection, not just a pack of words or letters. They need to feel you, and this is much more stronger. And you can get anything you want in this life. So for me, that was the secret recipe. It's not really something difficult.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely.
Reem, how can people connect with you?
I'm all over the place. You can find me on Facebook, Reem.Kharbat Reem.Kharbat, which is Kharbat. You can find me on Instagram with the same name, and on LinkedIn, also Reem.Kharbat. I have my website, which is reemkharbat.com. And of course, my podcast, which is the Entrepreneur Accelerator.
Brilliant. Fantastic. I want to thank you very much for your time, for sharing your passion and your knowledge with us today. I wish you all the best. Any parting words?
Thank you so much. I absolutely love this. And I'm so happy that finally, as fellow knowledge brokers, we got the chance to do it. I thank you so much for initiating this. It really means so much to me. And I hope that we will collaborate and do so many things together, because I know that you have also the passion to serve and to help. And it's absolutely an honor to be here with you. So again, thank you so much, and all the best for you as well.
Thank you very much, Reem. Much
Thank
appreciated. You. Thank you. Take care. All the best. Thank you very much for listening. Please take a moment to subscribe, rate and review Personal Development Mastery on Apple Podcasts. If you want to know more about me and how I can help you, join my Facebook group Personal Development Mastery. You can either search for it on Facebook, or you can simply type bit.ly/PDM group. And until next time, stand out, don't fit in.